Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be discussing original goat scales. In my opinion, they are absolute game changers for pretty much all the knives. I had the chance to go talk with them at Blade Show, and they have some very exciting things coming in the works, and I really hope it all comes together. Y'all are going to really love that, I can promise you that. Well, if you ever wanted to upgrade some of your knives, they make some top-notch scales in either aluminum or titanium, and they can completely transform a knife. So these are the scales that I've already bought myself. We have the Hogue Ritter Mini RSK. This is some aluminum scales with their shark tooth pattern on there. And this one, as you can see, it's a much brighter finish. This is their stone finish. Basically, it's a stone wash after they get it off the mill. And if you want a nice bright pop of aluminum, then this is the way to go. This particular finish in the stone, it does leave this a little bit rough. And they have started putting flat spots where the pocket clips go. And what I love about these scales is some of these models, it makes them linerless, which can make them even lighter than they already are. Now this one, being that it has the crossbar lock, they still have stainless steel liners underneath here, but it's still nice and lightweight. They pocket these aluminum scales as much as they possibly can while still keeping them nice and strong. This knife right here, it feels even stronger than it did when it had the G10 scales, of course. Then I got some scales for my large RSK. Now, if you want to see the difference, this is the stoned, this is in the buff. The in the buff finish is basically a blasted finish. It gives it like a softer texture, in my opinion. They're, just depending on what you're wanting. If you're wanting a bright finish, go with the stoned. If you're wanting a more muted finish on the aluminum, go with this. And if you don't want either one of these, they also do custom Cerakote jobs, or I think it's a custom ceramic coating on there. So you can get pretty much any color you want on the aluminum scales. And I got to say, it's definitely worth the wait on these scales. Sometimes they have lead times on all of them. A lot of times I've gotten them a little bit before the lead time, but, I'm always patient. I just order them, forget about them, because I know the quality I'm going to be getting. If you are interested in any of these scales, I do have a 15% off discount code. It's STASA23. That will give you 15% off, and I will have a link down below if you want to go check out what they have. Then I bought these scales for my lightweight Manix. This is one of the newer Manix that have the screwed on instead of pin construction. And man, when I say it completely transformed this knife, they did a clamshell construction and you can see how tight this is. You can see this one's brighter. This is the stone finish. Now, when it comes to like this texture, the stone finish doesn't matter because this is very grippy. Being that you have these wide swoops right here, this one is not slick, but it's more slick than this one is, and it's a very bright finish. I still like the look of it, and talk about, going from the lightweight to this, the thwack when you open it is so solid. I have no movement at all in any direction, and whenever I had the lightweight scales on it, I could definitely flex side to side, play. I like how you cannot have the screw holes on whatever side you don't carry on. And you can either go with a the Spyderco 3-hole pattern, or you can just go with the original wire clip that goes on these. This clip right here, definitely one of the best clips ever. This is from Razor Edge Knives. He doesn't make this exact one for Spyderco now. He makes this one for the Benchmade clip, but he has another one that is outstanding. It just functions so well, especially for a mill tie clip, because he has a pocket milled out underneath here. Gives it that perfect amount of flex. I absolutely love this clip. I wish he would do this one again. Then last year, I bought these titanium scales for my Demco 8020. And talk about, when I say made this thing an absolute tank, I also got the tie backspacer. And this thing is just thwack. Yeah, this thing makes some of the nicest acoustics when opening a knife. That clickety clack, and those tie scales really set this one off. This is their frag pattern on here, and it has like a dark blasted finish, which I absolutely love. I think you can get this in two other finishes as well. You can get it with a lighter finish also, I think. And this particular one, I have a Pops deep carry custom clip on there. Like I said earlier, I went check them out at Blade Show. And I bought 3 new sets of scales. Got another lightweight Manix set. And these are absolutely stunning. So these are also in the stone finish, the brighter finish. But like I said, being that I don't have these lines right here, and you have this gun stock pattern on this one, that's what this one's called, the gun stock. This one's a lot more grippy than this. And man, just look how beautiful that is, especially with that black blade. This is the Blade HQ exclusive in M4. So I don't have to have any clip screws on this side. And I opted for the wire clip to be there since I have the 3-hole in this one. I just wanted to see, you know, which one I like. And as you can see, they did put a flat spot underneath there, so you don't have to have this pattern ripping up your pants. And another one that is super, super solid. It is the lightweight. Just like the lightweight, there's no liners in there, and you can see all the pocketing they do in there on the top and bottom. So these things are still nice and lightweight. Definitely lighter than a G10 Manix. They do a great job of softening all the edges, nice and comfortable. And there's so many different patterns. They come up with a new pattern all the time. It's just crazy to look. All these are different patterns. You got, like I said, you have the shark tooth pattern here, stoned. On my full-size RSK, we have the drift pattern. So you have the little swirly lines, and then in the center, it's like where the contour is. And this is stoned. And then my Manix 2 lightweight, this is their groovy pattern, stoned. Their gun stock pattern, stoned. And I think this is just called the frag or pineapple frag, something like that, in the tie. These next scales, in my opinion, are a complete game changer for this knife, especially if you buy the FRN version. But that is for the Microtech MSI. And as you can see, I have a different pattern on this one as well. This is called their V2 wings pattern. And I have this one in the buff. Nice and soft feeling. And as you can see, I do not have that large clip spot right here. You can get it right or left-handed carry. These are linerless. This original back spacer and the original pocket clip. And man, this thing is super stout. This would be perfect if you bought an FRN version and you did not like the FRN. You can get these in aluminum or tie and all the different. A lot of times you can get most of the patterns just if it'll fit in the small section that they have. I don't know if this one accepts all the patterns or not, but the smoothness on all these, absolutely perfect. The centering on this one was off until I put these scales on. Perfect centering on all these and rock solid. While I was at the booth, I also bought a set of titanium scales for my Microtech stitch. I'll probably buy a G10 version of the stitch to put that one on because this one has the aluminum scales and these are pretty nice as is. I absolutely love the stitch. I like the stitch more than the MSI. That's just me. But I cannot wait to get those tie scales. Now, it was a pre-order, and, you know, I don't even remember how long they said it would take. I don't really care because I know how awesome they're going to be. You can also get scales for the Hogue Deca V2. They have tons of scales for this. So, especially if you have the FRN MagnaCut version and you want it to be more solid than it is with the FRN, you could get some of the aluminum scales. That would really, really step it up. I saw some of those. They look super, super nice. And if I didn't have these beautiful carbon fiber scales, this was a gift from a viewer. It's definitely staying like this. You can also get scales for the Cold Steel 8010. And it would really benefit on the light versions like this with the Grivery scales. I plan on picking up a set of scales for this one. Probably going to get the aluminum. You can get it in aluminum and tie, but super awesome here. And the scales are linerless, so you don't have this aluminum liner anymore. It's just one solid piece. Super, super cool. And another reason why I'd get the aluminum here, because I have my regular, that Show Special 8010 with the tie scales already, so I don't need tie scales. I wouldn't mind some aluminum ones though for this 8010 Lite. While I was there, they told me that they have some cool projects in the works. So right now you can get scales for the Cold Steel Engage. Now these scales come with an upgraded skiff bearing set, so you can put skiff bearings that are made for this knife in here, linerless. You get aluminum or tie. And I felt that one at the show. And talk about a smooth knife. You got to be careful. It's very smooth. I'm sure you could probably crank the pivot down if you need to slow it down some. But this is already a super tough knife. If you didn't see my review of this, I hammered this thing into a tree and stood on it. This Atlas lock is super strong. It's very similar to the Demco Shark lock. I mean, it's basically what it is, just further back. But they have that package upgrade for the Engage. And I think you can also get the same type of package for the Cold Steel 8015. I know you can get the tie and aluminum overlay scale right here. That looks absolutely stunning. And I'm pretty sure they have the bearing set on this one as well. Well, they were talking to me that what they were trying to do is, you know, put the knives together and sell them already, you know, done up. And I think that's an awesome idea. But, you know, if they were to pay wholesale or whatever the price is, and then add them to the knife, it'd be pretty expensive to do that. So they're talking with Cold Steel, and they're trying to work out something to where they can get them for a good enough price, put everything in them, and sell them like that to where it makes sense if you don't already have the knife. And I think that's awesome. You know, I like seeing the companies work together, and hopefully we can see that, you know, coming down the line. I'd love to get either tie or aluminum for this one, and I would love to get the titanium one for this one as well. Eventually, I'll probably get some for all these except for the Hogue Deca. But they have so many options. If you ever wanted to upgrade your knife, this is one really cool way to do so. The only model that they do that I didn't mention that I think is the Spyderco Yojimbo 2. They also do scales for that, and you can also get the regular Manix scales. So if you haven't ever checked them out, I will have it linked down below if you want to go check out all the awesome things they do. You can get back spacers as well for a lot of these knives that have back spacers in plenty different configurations. And like I said, you can also get these scales coated. I think it's a ceramic coat. And I'll be doing that probably to this one later on down the line. So there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave those down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.